Hello BookTube! Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and this is my September wrap-up. I did my August wrap-up. I did mention all the books I read except for the titles of the Sunshine State Young Reader Award finalists. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I've reviewed all those books. I did an overview and you've pretty much already seen them. But I thought I would just show you real quick the books that I read that I should have included on my August wrap-up that I didn't. Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan, The Eighth Day by Diane K. Salerni, Eye of the Storm by Kate Messner, Jack Strong Takes a Stand by Tommy Greenwalt, Jungle of Bones by Ben McCalson. I also listened to on audio Skink No Surrender by Carl Hiaasen, but I did mention it on my audiobook wrap-up. So for the month of September, I read a total of 9 physical books, and I listened to 3 audiobooks for a total of 12 books for the month. So altogether, it was a pretty good reading month. I'm excited that I finished the Sunshine State Young Reader Award finalists for the 6th to 8th grade, and so next month I think I'm going to go ahead and tackle the 3rd to 5th grade list, and there's 15 of those. Hopefully those won't take me quite as long since they are for even younger readers than the middle grade books, but we'll see. So I've got a few other books that I would like to get to this month in addition to the Sunshine State books, so we'll just see how it goes. So the physical books that I read, I've already done individual reviews for all of them, so please feel free to take a look at those reviews. In no certain order, I read This Journal Belongs to Ratchet by Nancy J. Kavanaugh, The Secret of Rover by Rachel Waldowski, Twerp by Mark Goldblatt, Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier, Seeing Red by Catherine Erskine, Project Jackalope by Emily Ecton, The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau, Stung by Bethany Wiggins, and my favorite of the month, Tesla's Attic by Neal Shusterman and Eric Elfman. So also for September, I listened to 3 audiobooks. The first one was 1000 White Women by Jim Fergus. The subtitle is The Journals of May Dodd. This takes place in 1875 when Ulysses S. Grant was president, and is a fictitious story of how white women volunteered to be traded basically to the Cheyenne Indians in exchange for horses, and they came from various walks of life, and for whatever reason decided that living with what they considered savages back then would be better than the life that they currently had. And our main character, May Dodd, had been put in a mental institution by her family because they considered her promiscuous. She was in a relationship and had children with a man that she was not married to, so they took her children away from her and put her in a mental institution. So her nurse discovered really that she was not mentally unstable and helped her escape. So her and the nurse both volunteered for this trade, and it's pretty interesting. I went into it not really expecting to like it because I looked on Goodreads. I didn't mention that I listened to this for book club last month. A lot of times the book club books are not books that I enjoy. They're books that I either don't want to read, I have to force myself to read, so I really wasn't looking forward to this. I looked it up on Goodreads and I almost found no good reviews of it, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna hate it. So I thought, well, I will listen to one disc, and then if I don't like it, I'm just gonna say forget it. I don't have time to listen to a book that I'm gonna hate. But you know, I think the problem with the people who didn't like this book is that they tried to take it seriously. It's not serious historical fiction. It really, now it does get pretty gritty towards in the second half, but on audio, I thought it was kind of funny. At least the first half had a lot of fun parts because the narrator did a great job of stereotypically doing the voices of all the different women and the different heritage groups that they came from. It was just really kind of humorous. So it did have some pretty yucky, gory parts towards the end, but for what it is, if you don't take it too seriously, it's really not that bad. I kind of had fun listening to it. So I finished it, and I didn't hate it. I think I probably gave it 3 stars. Another book I listened to is City of Glass, which is the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments series. I've heard several people say that once they got to this book, they quit the series or didn't really like this one, and so they didn't go any further. I was starting to worry that I was going to do that, because about halfway into this one, I'm starting to think, okay, and I even talked to one of our library staff who has read everything that Cassandra Clare has had published, and she was asking me, how I was liking it so far, and I said, okay, is this whole incesty thing, is that going to be a thing? I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that. So she said, it's okay, just keep reading, keep listening, and it'll be okay. She said, I don't want to give you spoilers, and I said, please do, and she said, it'll be okay. And I said, okay, I'm going to trust you. So yeah, it was okay. And so if that happened, if you started this and stopped it for that reason, let me give you a little spoiler, it'll be okay. If you just didn't like the book or the characters at that point, then, that's okay too. I've said before, this is not really the type of book or series that I pick up normally, but I had heard so much about it on BookTube that I decided to give it a listen. So my husband and I have both been listening to it, and so far I'm not hating it. It's not too bad. We will go ahead and continue on with the series. Now, the book I just finished actually on October 1st, but I'm going ahead including it in my September wrap-up because I did listen to the majority of it in September, is Seeker by Arwen Ellis Dayton. Now, there's more than one book called Seeker, so if you look this one up, be sure you get the author correct. This is Dayton. I didn't hate this one either, but I also didn't connect with it quite as much as other books that I have enjoyed. It wasn't bad. Now, I did see some pretty scathing reviews of this too, but I also saw some 5-star reviews. So it's kind of seems like a book you either love or hate. It is a YA book. I guess it's a fantasy. It's futuristic, so you could consider it sci-fi. It was the book that my youngest was supposed to read for Teen Book Club, and she didn't end up getting it finished. She says she may go back to it later, but I could tell she kind of had a hard time connecting with it too. So I won't really go into much detail about it. You can look it up on Goodreads. It centers around some young people who at the beginning are being trained and tested to be seekers, and then it turns out that being a seeker is not what they thought it was going to be. I think this is one of those books that I'm going to need to go back and read it in book form, because I was listening to it and I would lose track. It's told from I think 3 different perspectives, and even though the headings of the chapters told you who was talking, I still got a little confused, and so I'm not going to tell you that it's a bad book. At this point, based on what I've heard so far, I would probably give it a 3, but I need to, still, that's not a real solid 3 because I didn't really understand it completely. I got the gist of the story, but I did not, I didn't connect with it like I would have liked to. And when it first started out, I thought I was really going to love it. So I need to probably revisit it at a later time. So that is what I read for the month of September. I will be back very soon with my TBR for October, and I guess that's it for this video. Hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.